Hi everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we are going to be talking about polymer claying with kids, and I think this is a great fun thing for children to do. I'm going to be giving you hints and tips and tricks of how to set up so that your kids can do some claying, or whoever's kids they are, so they can do some claying. I'm not doing specific projects, but I probably will be in a later video. So, what age of kids can polymer clay? Well, Fimo make kids sets, and they say from 8 plus. I think you might be able to go a bit younger than that if there's plenty of adult supervision. But I wouldn't try and polymer clay with toddlers. It doesn't seem worth it to me. They love their Play-Doh. They like to throw it at the cat and eat it and things, and it's just not appropriate with polymer clay. I think that they'd be much more liberated just doing Play-Doh. Older children, they'll see the value in having something they can keep. They'll love to make gifts and things, and polymer clay is a wonderful, versatile medium for them to learn. So yeah, I'd say 8 or so is a good age, maybe a little bit younger, but don't tell female I said that. Okay, what I would like to add to that, actually, and I hope nobody is offended by this, is that the purpose of getting your kids polymer claying is so that they can express themselves, so that they can have fun, and so that they can be creative. The purpose is not to show that you're a genius teacher, that that they are a genius clayer. That it's not. It's just I want to make sure that it's a positive experience for the children. So don't be hanging all your ego on what they make. Don't snatch it out of their hands and improve what they're making. Let's just let the kids play and bake what they've made for them, and try and stay in the role of someone who facilitates rather than someone who is an art director. Does that sound... I mean, it's just, you can teach children, but I don't want them to be crushed, because, at the end of the day, polymer clay is not that expensive. It's much more important that the children enjoy it and make something that they think is fun or funny, than that we teach them to manufacture something they can sell. Okay? Alright, so let me see. I'm going to put you down now. Oh, this is fun. And I'm going to show you some of the things that you're going to need, and hopefully, well, let's see. Alright, so I've moved that back a little bit now, and you're looking at some paper, and this is a good way to start. With polymer clay, you'd want to, I think, cover your floor and with an old sheet or something, or an old plastic sheet, and cover your table with a load of paper or something. I've got a PVC tablecloth which has been absolutely ruined by being melted by the plasticizers in clay, so that's not going to work. Don't use a Chippendale, antique price list table, for goodness sake. Get a craft kind of table, cover it with some paper, nice plastic sheet or some paper on your floor. And just check the kids' feet every now and again if they're walking around, to make sure they're not treading polymer clay into your carpets. I've got polymer clay out of my carpets using baby wipes, but you don't want to be doing that if you can help it. Okay, so here's some clay. It's good to use. Fimo Soft, Fimo Effect. Primo is meant to be very good for kids. It's nice and soft, and well, these clays are just a load of fun, and I think Fimo do Fimo Kids as well, but I haven't tried that. Oh, and also I knew something was going through in my mind. Also, you can get effect clays like glitter or metallic and stuff like that. And this particularly fun for children. It's a glow in the dark clay. Imagine that. Imagine if they could make something that glows in the dark. That would be so much fun for a kid, wouldn't it? In no way have I got excited about it with my own things. Tools wise, if you don't buy a dedicated set of polymer clay tools, you can either, if you're a clayer, obviously you're going to use your own tools. A lot of this won't apply to you, but if you're not a clayer, just get some shapes. I mean, these are my metal ones. I wanted to get one of those little Play-Doh sets and try it out. I couldn't get it yesterday in where I live. But you know the sorts of sets I mean. They've got a little rolling pin and you know, things like that in plastic cutters. There's also other tools that you can pick up. Just, I mean, try and pick the non-lethal ones. This is the main thing. And for children, you can also use things like a ballpoint pen, a broken ballpoint pen, to make textures such as that. You could check out my dread bead video. That will give you some ideas. You can use knitting needle. This is one of those like short double-ended ones. You could use even using screwed up foil to make textures, which actually that's a bit, I've done a bit of a rubbish one, but that can be very interesting. Another thing you can do if you're crafty, and I'm going to suggest that you might well be because you're playing with kids, sounds to me like you're interested in crafts, you might have some stamps, and stamps work really well on clay. If you do use them, give them a good clean afterwards with a baby wipe. But look, if I press this stamp into the clay, it makes a really interesting, you know, paisley pattern. So there's lots of potential there for kids to have fun. If the for an actual work surface for the children, sorry, we've talked about a protecting surface. For an actual work surface, I would suggest a tile. That's what I use. If you haven't got a tile and can't be bothered to get one, then you could probably use just a piece of card like this. But do remember not to leave the clay sitting on it for ages, because it will sort of leach the oils out of the clay. But that's as good a thing as any to use. It's pretty tough, this one. You could even, I suppose you could even cover that with some foil and work on that, but it would be a bit screwed up. The tile can go straight in the oven. If you use cardboard, just put it in a baking tin like this, and that will even out the temperature. Use an oven thermometer if at all possible, please. It's a very, very good thing to do. Preheat your oven so it doesn't suddenly spike, and use an oven thermometer. That's my advice. Let me see, what else do we need to do? Yeah, it might be worth, I was just looking on my list of things, it might be worth sitting down with the kids and instituting some sort of rules with them. Now, I think it's nice if the adult involved can condition the clay for them, because conditioning clay is basically it's softening up, moving the plasticizers around in it to get it nice and soft, ready to work with, and it makes it stronger when it's baked. But it's pretty boring for children. So I think a deal with the children would be, I'll get all the clay ready and soften it up for you if you promise not to throw it, eat it, or give it to the cat. Because it is worth having a chat with the kids involved to make sure that they understand that they've got to be responsible. It's also worth making a knife. I forgot to mention this. Knives are pretty dangerous. If you can't get, like, you could possibly use a plastic knife. You might get a knife in a set if you buy one. But you don't want to be using the normal sort of clay blades like this with little tiny kids, do you? So what I've done is I've cut this lid up to make a knife. I'll just flatten this out. I'm going to use my rolling pin. Anything you use with clay you can't use with food afterwards. I just want to make that clear because it didn't really get clean properly because of the plasticizers. You can use a jar or something to roll the clay out with. I'm using my rolling pin, I'm cheating. So I've got this lid. It's like from a This is from a gravy packet, but you might get one from a coffee can or something. And I've just cut that section out. And if the clay's warm enough, you know, that makes a pretty good knife. So that might be an idea for very small children. But as long as you avoid the metal knives, you're okay. Okay, what else can we do? Oh yeah, you might want to make beads. That's quite a good thing for children to make. And they can make some, and it's pretty simple if you make marbled ones. And you can just push through with a toothpick and make beads like that. Now, if you try and bake them on here, they're gonna roll around, aren't they? It's gonna be awful. So what you can do for that is to just make a concertina of cardboard, and anything really that's going to roll you can bake on there. Tips, tricks. Baby wipes. You've got to always have your baby wipes on hand. Cleaning off your tools, cleaning off your hands. Always keep your baby wipes nearby, and also some bit of kitchen roll to dry things off if they're still wet from baby wipes. That means supplies. If you can have things like elastic, like to put beads on, make sure the holes are big enough. If you can have things like little badge backs like this. These will all be, you know, things that I might better show you in another video, but you can just put some clay and hold that in place to make a badge. You could make findings for jewellery. You could use perhaps a section of a paper clip to just poke in to make a pendant or something. Although a hole is probably just as good. Anything you can supply like this to give the kids more scope for what they make is absolutely brilliant. And you know, you could possibly sit down with the kids beforehand and plan out what you're going to do, or you could just try and give them all the options you can. It depends how keen you are, really. The other job you can do with kids is to teach them how to fix things to the clay. If they want to put thin things on, I wouldn't make a very thin bracelet, for instance. That's just going to break and disappoint the child. But if they want to do something like fix an arm onto a teddy bear, if they make a little model, you know, they can always use a toothpick. You might want to help a little. You could probably blunt the ends anyway. And that would just fix the arm in place, and it'll give it a little bit more strength than if they just put it on by hand. It may not survive. So that's a good tip. I'm being a bit random here, and I apologise for that, but I'm trying to, I'm probably trying to cover too many bases. What else can we say? Oh yeah, oven safety. Okay, an adult will need to operate the oven. I don't think that's the domain of a child, and you know, that's where you really come in. As I say, oven thermometer helps a lot. But you can set a timer, and maybe if you've got an oven thermometer in the oven, the child could maybe listen out for the timer, watch the oven thermometer, tell you if it gets too hot or whatever. So there might be a role for children in that, even if you're the person who's kind of in charge of it and overseeing it. Don't let the kids touch the work when it comes out of the oven for quite a while. Let everything cool down nicely, because they'll be very excited, but you know, they need to wait. If you clean up, the kids have to help with the clean up, baby wipes, and for the kids, rubbing alcohol that adults can use if necessary. A little bit of rubbing alcohol goes a long way. And the kind of hand gel that you get, that disinfecting hand gel, is very good for getting polymer clay off hands. You're not allowed to eat or do anything while you're claying, and you need to get the clay off when you finish. So hand gel, good old rub with a baby wipe, good old rub with a piece of kitchen roll. You know, get the kids to get their hands nice and clean. Let me see if there's anything else I need to say. Do you know what? I'm going to forget. Oh, if I do forget anything, I'll put it down below. Okay, I'm going to pop this back up now, shall I? I'm back, albeit in a rather wobbly way. And I hope that was some use to you. I'm going to watch this now and see if it seems any use to me. If it does, I'll put it up. And I hope that children enjoy playing with you. If you've got any questions, look down below. If you've got any, if I've got any more things that I remember, I'll put them in the description. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and happy claying. Bye bye.